Program Director, Mr. David Ashdown, Managing Director of Spintelligent, Your Excellency Ambassador Figerson, the Danish Ambassador to South Africa, Your Excellency Ambassador Dr. Ben Ngubane, ESCOM Board Chairperson. I always remind him that it is only politicians that are former ministers of energy, former ministers of transport. But once you have been an ambassador, you are ambassador for life. So he is our former ambassador to Japan and other places. Thus he remains Your Excellency. Esteemed government officials, stakeholders, and thought leaders, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I must commence with a small confession. When we walked up the stage and the lights were switched off and the disco lights came on, I was a very worried man. I had not been in a disco for more than 25 years or so. And I was worried at the thought of being asked to dance or sing. Those are two areas that I'm very inadequate in. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my distinct privilege and honor to welcome you to the African Utility Week 2017 on behalf of the South African government. The conference comes at a time when Africa faces mounting challenges with regard to access to sustainable modern energy services, which are a prerequisite for meeting basic human needs for economic and social development. It is a well-known, self-evident fact that without efficient clean energy and adequate water supply, efforts to engage effectively in productive commercial activities to improve the standard and quality of life are gravely undermined. The 17th Africa Utility Week 2017 offers a unique networking opportunity for all stakeholders involved in power generation, transmission, distribution, metering, clean energy, generation, water supply, and energy efficiency. African Utility Week thus continues to provide a platform to problematize issues and to find newfangled solutions and best practice to case studies from Africa and beyond. It is therefore vital for power and water professionals to share knowledge and to collaborate on a regional basis to promote realistic solutions. Africa's wealth in natural resources remains a possible catalyst for unlocking its heightened manufacturing and industrialization potential. A great deal of this potential will, however, hinge on the availability of stable and reliable infrastructure and strategic corridors needed to start industries and to qualitatively improve the standard of business throughout the continent. Lack of sufficient electricity and access to water in Africa remains one of the biggest barriers to development and prosperity. This state of affairs continues to trap millions of our people in extreme poverty and underdevelopment. The current energy deficit in Africa continues to be alarming. It is estimated that energy-related challenges such as power shortages and expensive off-grid solutions cost African economies 2 to 4% of their gross domestic product every year. In South Africa, closer home, before the dawn of democracy, there was inadequate investment in infrastructure in general and in African, colored, and Indian areas in particular, which left a sizable portion of the population without access to meaningful basic services. Another fact is that over the colonial and apartheid period, only 35% of the South African population had access to electricity. In stark contrast to this, the African National Congress-led democratic government has rolled out electricity service to over 88% of the population in a period more slightly than 20 years since 1994. Investment in power and energy infrastructure constitutes a significant step that African countries need to undertake to effect economic development. Regional integration in a mutually beneficial manner remains a very important challenge. Through its participation in SADC, through the Southern African Power Pool and partnerships in Sub-Saharan Africa, ESCOM is committed to promoting institutional and utility capacity building through exchange programs and fora with the objective of achieving long-term regional reliability and the Africa Electricity Master Plan. Promoting regional cooperation and integration through energy pooling and cross-border flows is key in minimizing the cost of supply as a result of economies of scale. A regional approach to energy resources development would further enhance reliability and security of supply. Pursuing investments that will ensure a more reliable and secure electricity supply should be the determining factor in the decision to build power systems, interconnections, and to enter into inter-utility exporting agreements amongst neighboring countries. In Europe and the United States of America, for example, power pooling amongst utilities has been proven to effectively harness savings in operating costs and to secure reliability of grid through coordinated interchange of power, energy, and related services. Similarly, there is likely benefit to be had where regions accelerate the integration and connectedness in order to leverage on each other's strengths and resources. It thus becomes important for regional policymakers and the power utility industry to identify potential infrastructure investments where regional synergies can be leveraged. Furthermore, research and development are critical in coming up with affordable solutions to alleviate and eradicate poverty. I should like to thank the conference organizers and assure our guests of the South African government and the South African energy and water stakeholders' commitment to work in partnership with you to together find solutions to the development challenges facing all of us. It's only through greater cooperation and closely working together that we can ensure prosperity for the individuals, the citizens of our country. I would like to thank you for having given me the opportunity to address you. And I would also like to ask for your indulgence. Before I came here, I was supposed to be part of a cabinet committee, and I asked to be excused from the cabinet committee in order to come and share a few words and thoughts with you. So immediately after my address, although I would have loved to interact and look at the exhibitions, I will unfortunately have to go back to the cabinet meetings. But however, much later in the day, I will endeavor to come back and be with you also partly tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.